Ban list! Legacy has gotten a new ban list to address the stagnant metagame. It was basically, is it Delver versus Mono White Turbo Initiative, and after these bans, the meta is probably gonna be, is it Delver versus Turbo Initiative, but the Initiative might have some other colors now. Wow! Anyways, both decks got a slap on the wrist and lost a card each. Is it Delver lost to Sorcery Expressive Innovation, and Mono White Initiative lost to Creature White Plume Adventurer. Let's take a look at why these cards are so good to the point they needed to be banned. But before we do, if you like this kind of content, let me know with a comment, leave the video a like, and subscribe. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. Let's start with Expressive Innovation, released in Strixhaven in 2021. Expressive Innovation is one of the main draws for playing Izzet in the formats it's legal in. With the banning of it in Legacy, the only formats it remains unrestricted in is Vintage, Commander, Historic, and strangely enough Modern. Expressive Innovation is a sorcery spell for 1 blue and 1 red mana. Now let you look at the top 3 cards of your library and put 1 in your hand, exile 1 that can be played that turn, and put 1 on the bottom. What makes this effect so good is it's essentially a draw 2 with a free scry in 1 card. It lets you cycle through the top 3 cards of your deck to pick the ones that will suit you the best for the given game state. A dead draw gets to go on the bottom of your deck, while a card you want for later gets to go in your hand. Then the card you'd want to play that turn anyways lets you maintain card advantage in your hand. It's not too uncommon for the exile card to be a land card, as it gives you your land drop for turn while keeping all your other cards in your hand a secret. Expressive Innovation doesn't reveal the cards except the exiled one either, making your opponent have to guess what is going everywhere else. What made this card so good in Is It Delver in particular is that the deck wants a ton of low mana instant and sorcery spells to have a ton of fodder in the graveyard for cards like Murktide Regent to enter with a ton of +1/+1 counters, and to flip Delver's secrets easily, as well as hit the Delirium condition for Dragon's Rage Channeler. The deck is a tempo deck using low mana spells like Lightning Bolt and Daze to control the game state, backed up by Forcibles in the hand to counter anything essentially for free. One of Is It Delver's weaknesses was struggling for card draw, as you generally only had Brainstorm and Ponder to do so until Expressive Innovation came around. Expressive Innovation wasn't bad to draw late game either, as it let you get spells you'd want to be casting late game anyways. It was able to kill your dead draws while giving you spells that can start helping clear up problem creatures. It gave Is It Delver a bit too much consistency in its card advantage capabilities, and was hidden in the ban list. Despite this ban, Is It Delver is likely to still thrive at the top of the metagame. Let's move on to Mono White's Initiative's ban, White Plume Adventurer. It was chosen to be hit as opposed to other initiative cards, as it could be cast as early as turn 1. Since it only costs 3 mana, if you drew a soul land like Ancient Tomb, along with a 0 mana artifact such as Chrome Mox or Lotus Petal, you could tap the mana rock for white mana and the soul land to bring it down on turn 1. After, you play a bit of a Death and Taxes plan to slow your opponent down, while taking in all the benefits you get from having the initiative, and prevent the opponent from taking it from you. To provide context as to why this was so powerful, let's look at the initiative itself. Released in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, the initiative lets you go into the Undercity, which is a dungeon that can only be entered when you take the initiative. Like Monarch, you keep the initiative until your opponent's creature deals combat damage to you, and then they get it. You advance through the dungeon at the start of each of your turns you have the initiative. If you already have initiative and a creature that lets you take it hits the battlefield, you simply advance through the dungeon an extra step. The initiative lets you start building advantage basically for free. It gives you free ramp for a basic land, which you still generally play a few of despite mostly playing utility and soul lands. It then lets you start boosting up creatures for +1/+1 counters, and burning your opponents for 5 life, and in the 20 life format, that's a quarter of life gone basically for free. Then you can draw cards and cheat out a creature with extra counters that come in with protection. It only takes 5 turns to go through a dungeon, including the turn the creature that grants initiative comes out if you do nothing extra. However, the deck runs away to both blink not just White Plume Adventurer, but Sungeon Dungeoneer as well, that gives you extra initiative triggers with a card such as Touch the Spirit Realm. That can also act as removal if need be. The deck protects itself using cards like Elite Spellbinder and Thalia Guardian of Thraben to make it harder to cast Answers, and Archon of Amira to make them even slower by locking them into just 1 spell per turn. The deck is backed up by Chalice of the Void, letting you put in protection that counters the spells of the answers your opponents may have as well. All of this combines in a way that makes it absolutely trivial to go through the Undercity without having to ever worry about your opponent taking it. Even if they did, you had Seasoned Dungeoneer to ensure your opponent couldn't block your creatures, since it gave protection to an attacking Cleric, Rogue, Wizard, or Warrior, which are the creature types that most of your creatures have anyways. This lets you take the initiative back immediately to start going through it again while getting in for free damage. The reason White Plume Adventurer got the axe was because it was the easiest to bring out consistently on turn 1. There are doubts that the initiative will be going anywhere, and may instead be making a shift. Boris Initiative was being experimented with, and we may see it as being the new main way to build initiative. We may see an increase in black initiative decks as well that can take advantage of Dark Ritual to tour them out, something that saw a lot of success in Pauper. This Battle Rager can hit the battlefield just as early as White Plume Adventure occurred, and has the added bonus that if it ever becomes blocked, that creature's controller loses 5 life, making it possible to deal half the life of your opponent by just playing the game with little or no interaction. And we know Ravenloft Adventure is coming to Magic Online in a few days, which is where most of Legacy's meta is discovered, since you don't need a second mortgage to have a playable deck there, which provides even more power to Mono Black Initiative. So while White Plume is gone, the mechanic is still solid and will likely continue to see play. Both White Plume Adventurer and Expressive Innovation were part of the top 2 decks of the metagame, and both these decks kinda kept each other in check. So they couldn't ban a card from just one of these decks without banning another, as the one that wasn't hit would become the dominating deck of the metagame. While both were weakened, both are still fantastic, and are probably still top 2 decks of the format, just losing out on a bit of consistency. Anyways, let's wrap this up. If you enjoyed this content, do leave it a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching.